Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Manifest more wisdom. I almost feel like, can't this be the summary of hopefully what we have been doing here all along? A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. And yeah, bam, we just manifested more wisdom. So this is another whale, I know. And guess what? This is also the last one. This is the final manifest more. And in 2021, and actually I think if I come back next week, it's like a few days before 2021, but don't hold me to it. We're not going to manifest more of anything else. We've already done it. Now we've already manifested it. We're going to power up. So that's what you have to look forward to. Even though part of me is like, oh my God, are you sure you want to triple power up? But, you know, time is of the essence. And, you know, I just couldn't give everybody their own podcast. And then I was like, wait, how about I just start mushing things together? Like just mud. I'm just going to be mushing things together like mud in 2021, just to do them, just to cover them, just, you know, wow. Okay, so anyways, wisdom might actually be crazier than truth as far as the bigness of the pile, but I don't have to sit here all day. Besides, I want to go visit my neighbor, Lorraine, who is one of the most wise beings. Truly, I love her so much. So we're going to talk about wisdom. What is wisdom? I know that I'm sure that a lot of my cards and my explanations, they might seem to contradict each other at time and get a little bit like, well, wisdom is this and knowledge is that. And it's like, let's not get sidetracked and caught up and diluted in the definitions. Like, probably a lot like truth, wisdom just is. Maybe not quite as truthy, but you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody says wisdom is understanding, but yet another person is standing there saying wisdom is knowledge, and then they start arguing with each other, I think it's safe to say that neither one of them has encompassed the totality of wisdom quite yet, if they're going to stand there like a bunch of fucktards and argue about it. Okay, so that's just what I'm saying as a dumb human. That's my 2 cents. I'm proud of us. I'm really, really proud of us for manifesting so much good stuff together. I mean, and I don't want to keep on crediting 2020 for being a jerk, but especially in 2020, okay? Like, we went through the jerk of the year, apparently. I mean, is that what they want us to think? It was so bad? Well, I have like 300 and whatever podcasts, probably. How many did I do in 2020? A lot. And I have a lot of examples of when it was good. And I have a lot of examples, even though I don't have their email addresses. I could give you the the numbers of all my listeners, how many there are, and say, listen, I know you want everyone to think 2020 was the most horrible thing on the face of the earth ever. However, I have a lot of people here who are making a lot of strides to create a different reality. I have a lot of episodes to show that we can still have fun. We can still manifest good stuff. We can still inch our way towards wisdom. We can get on the 6 of Swords boat in the morning and take a journey into a new place, right? We don't have to stay in anything. Even if we are in something, we can be like Vervain and put our hand on our heart, and we can have the wisdom to escape within ourselves. And like, really count your blessings, and think about the good stuff, and think about how maybe in a lot of ways your connections were enhanced because of situations, and your heart was expanded, your love was extended. You let a lot more magic in because you couldn't go out. And so, whatever, 2020, suck it. I love you, but fuck off. And don't tell me I have to look bad at you. Because if I want to love 2020, I'm going to fucking love 2020. I'm just saying. Because it's sometimes better to just be like, you know what? I am love. And that's what I do. And that's what I keep reminding myself all the time when I want to fall out of it. So anyways, I just read another chapter of A Course in Miracles this morning. 28, is that what I'm uploading? Yeah, 28. I'm processing it right now. And it had so many synchronicities about the body. If you read only one chapter of A Course in Miracles ever, and you can look online, I know they have it for free everywhere, or I can read it to you through the audiobook, or 100 other people could do the same damn thing. Jump right into 28. If you are just like on the fence about it, start with chapter 28, because I felt like it was so relevant today. And how, like, we can't be healing these bodies. We got to heal the mind. We got to heal the mind. We have to realize that this is a dream that we are dreaming. And it's our choice if we want to dream a dream of fear, or if we want to start to dream a happier dream. So anyways, think about doing that. And then I'll think about actually looking at this pile of, oh my God, I could literally maybe do some now of this podcast, some later, and some tonight. I mean, I'm on my own schedule. It's the holidays. Nobody's holding me to anything. No one actually has ever held me to anything. It's just been my own thing. But I'm just saying, if I feel like I need to take 13 years to record the wisdom podcast, so be it. Because, I mean, how long does it take to get wisdom? Is it something that you just have? I just feel like we could argue about what this word means. So let's just be open to like all the meanings, and open to what we can derive from them. Yeah, let's not get caught up in the worlds, but in the words. And let's know that this is our last one. Our last manifest more, and that, yeah, I'm super duper. Oh my God, I've been working with this deck all year, Enchanted Blossoms by Carla Morrow, and now I'm in the back of the book, and now the next page is about the artist and the author, and I never seen this page before. Oh my God, she's so cute. Carla Morrow is a fantasy artist specializing in dragons and creatures from myth and legend using pencil and watercolor. She creates the images and worlds that exist in her mind and bring them to light so that others may share and enjoy the dragons and other creatures she sees. Anyways, Carla, you're gorgeous, and thank you so much for this deck. I mean, this was like an act of beauty in the world. And we need to start making more of those, like in our wisdom now, because apparently after you hang out with Ho so long, you can't help but get some wisdom. You can't help but get more wise. Now, in our wise place of power, let's extend it into the world with acts of beauty, with projects, with inspiration, with sharing. So anyways, good job, Carla. Let's go back a page. We are going to talk about wisdom today. It's on a purple iris, and it's really not that showy of a butterfly at all. It's a common map, and it's just sort of almost, it's either whitish or transparent. Let me look here. As I clear my throat. Creamy. It looks like it's like a creamy color and brown and a little bit orange. It looks like a coloring from a 70s kitchen. Probably has some mushroom cookie jars on the counter. You know You know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's just pretty basic, not showy. Maybe that's a message of wisdom. When you have wisdom, you don't need to be flamboyant about it. You don't need to be like telling everybody you have wisdom. That is not necessary because you just have it. You don't need to prove it. You just are it. So I feel like wisdom is one of those frequencies. It's like you don't, and in that place of wisdom, I think you probably will let go of feeling like you need to justify or prove yourself or impress anybody. Like you're over that because you're in wisdom now. So the question that this dragon butterfly on the purple iris is going to ask us is, how can I cultivate wisdom? So that clearly says that wisdom is something that can grow, that we can cultivate, that we can become more of. Is probably something that we can let flow, or we can block. Just like that blue vervain card that we had all this week, and I talked about it a lot yesterday. Sorry for crying in the podcast yesterday, but wow, those were some big emotions. It's like, hey, do you want to let energy flow, or do you want to block it up? Because in my experience, it's much more wise to let it flow in ya and out of ya and not hold on to it. Don't identify with it. Don't try to hold it. Those watery emotions might try to drown you. So keep the valve open. Now, for the ancient Greeks, Iris was a goddess who personified the rainbow. And we see her on a deck of mine, the Flower Essences, The Power of Flowers by Isha Lerner. And I was just pulling out the drawer in case I couldn't remember her name, but I remembered it. Good job. And there's the rainbow goddess, the iris goddess on that card. Anyways, the Greeks, family members would plant irises on the graves of women in hopes that the goddess would guide the deceased to the afterlife. Egypt was also captivated by the iris and planted them around the tombs of kings. Iris oil, which I have never had, what the heck? Iris oil has been used to clear the lungs and aid with coughing, and in more recent times in perfumes and aromatherapy. I'm sorry, guys, I'm just going to sing. I'm excited we're on the last Manifest More. This is completion, baby. I love completion. Within the past several generations, the iris has exploded into gardens all over the world, and with hundreds of variations, and you can find almost any color you could hope for. Irises have been featured in paintings and poems throughout history and remain a popular garden and cut flower. All right, so we're starting off with some irises, and definitely a feeling of celebration and completion. Even though wisdom might not ever be complete, I don't know. How does that work? It's definitely something that we can grow and cultivate. So, wisdom is associated with aging. And yeah, we will definitely be hanging out with some crones and things like that today. Because sometimes it just takes us a long time to get to wisdom. So it's associated with aging, but is a trait that should be cultivated and nurtured. You know, it's like, I ain't knocking our young people. You can be wise too. But also at the same time, like, I go hang out with my friend, neighbor, Lorraine, because she is 40 years older than me, and she does have wisdom to share with me, and I ain't no arrogant young little bastard thinking that she doesn't. So youngsters, yeah, you can have your fair share of wisdom, but don't get arrogant thinking that, you know, our old crones don't have something to offer you, because they most certainly do. And me being in the middle, me too, right? But then I also too can't get too arrogant and be like, oh, I don't need to. I know everything. No, bitch, you do not. So please go hang out with Lorraine. All right, we can help insight along by seeking out new experiences, living boldly, and facing the struggles of life. Understanding doesn't come from staying safe in our own little bubble and never venturing out into the world. So this card asks you to leave your safe spaces behind and gather wisdom wherever you can find it. Experience life, read, do something new, do something old, right? I know we have one of those cards too that's going to tell us to connect with ancient wisdom. A lot of that going on. Do something old. Do something new. Read some books. Experience life. Make mental notes on what goes on around you. Stop, listen, and learn from those who are wiser than yourself. In this way, you will gain more wisdom and have the tools to make astute decisions as you move through life. And also have the wisdom to only line up with that which you want to manifest. As we have been manifesting more good stuff, I hope that you got a little bit of the insight that whatever you're going to focus on, that's what you're going to manifest more of. So when you're out in the world experiencing life, make sure that you understand that you are creating, you are manifesting with your attention to things. So how can you cultivate wisdom? Well, put your attention on wise things, right? Read books that open your mind. Hang out with people who help you expand your perception and gain insights with them, right? So experience life and cultivate more wisdom. So that's what we're going to do today. Manifest more wisdom. I don't know if I should go through and try to organize these cards, because like whenever I said that there was ancient wisdom, that made me like want to get all the ones that I know that are going to have that same message, so we're not like keep on going back and forth. But now that I'm kind of looking through this, I don't know if there is any order at all to the way I put these in the pile. There's not. I'm going to say there's not. And you're just going to have to hang out with me, I guess. I don't know. Like I was hoping, just as a side note, I was hoping for 2021 to be more organized with the power-ups and really have like more of a presentation for you. But then I got to thinking about it. I don't have time to do that shit. And we're just going to have to fly by the seat of our pants like we actually are pretty good at doing. So we'll just kind of do that along with our power-ups in 2021. I might be more selective, not allow every single card to join the party, because it just might make way too long of podcasts. But we'll see. But anyways, let's do again, before we forget, our affirmations for the week. Our herb of the week is vervain. And yeah, she has a lot of good things to remind us of. This affirmation minute is brought to you by our magical herb of the week, vervain. And I lovingly dedicate them all to you. Thank you. My enthusiasm is a sacred fire. I ride the boat of inner faith. I open myself to different perspectives about my life, relationships, and love. I experience union and magic in the world. I choose a more loving path for myself. My enthusiasm is a sacred fire. I ride the boat of inner faith. I open myself to different perspectives about my life, relationships, and love. I experience union and magic in the world. I choose a more loving path for myself. And so it is. Now, I think a similarity that wisdom is going to have a lot like truth is when we manifested more truth. We had like little truth, big truth, tell me the truth, you can't handle the truth. We had all kinds of truth, right? And I think in a lot of ways too, wisdom is like that too. Like, maybe like wisdom could just be like clear seeing so that you can make a decision, or it can go up like into the greater realm of universal wisdom. So I feel like there's probably a spectrum of wisdom in a lot of ways, and like, and how do you even measure that? I have no idea, but you see what I'm saying? So I feel like that's why it's such a big kind of topic as well. Because, here I'm looking at a circular card. This is the Cosmic Deck of Initiation by Barbara M. DeLong. U.S. Games printed it, but I found it at a bookstore one time, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's my only deck that's circular. It's my only circle cards. Yeah, it's weird to shuffle them. Like, it's cool. But it has universal wisdom with this brightly colored mandala flower, and it says, wisdom awaits your experience and application. Wisdom carries for you release and growth. Wisdom grows from experience and is different for every individual and every situation. Wisdom is not knowing, it is understanding. Wisdom is guiding you and opening you to the greater mysteries of the universe. Live your wisdom. Breathe life into it. And just as a side note, they wrote breath life into it, and I know that's not what they meant. I'm your typo girl. I'll find them. Breathe life into it. Live your wisdom and breathe life into it. So, there's always that message to make sure you go inside for your wisdom, meditate, breathe life into it, literally. Wisdom is guiding you and opening you to the greater mysteries of the universe. So wisdom is not like a stop sign or a destination. It seems like it is guiding you and opening you to greater mysteries of the universe. So it's like leading you to something even beyond. Even beyond. Now, so this one said wisdom is not knowing, it's understanding, and I'm pretty sure those words get flip-flopped all the time, because some people, I don't know, it's just one of those words that we could go on a vocabulary war if we wanted to and argue about words and implied meanings. But I think what we have to do when we manifest more of something is tap into the energy, frequency, feeling of it. So think about how you feel when you feel wisdom, or when you feel like you're stepping into more of your wisdom, when you're understanding more. Okay, you're being opened up now to new things because you have let wisdom guide you, you've understood more, you've grown from experience. You've released a lot of things and you've grown, and you're breathing into your wisdom now. And so now you can be shown more, you can understand more. So think about how you feel when you have those moments. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you've only gotten little tastes of it. Or you're really starting to understand yourself, or the laws of the universe, or how energy works, or how love works, or how love feels. I mean, it's think about that feeling of wisdom and get excited, because even if you've acquired, I guess, acquired great wisdom, you should still always be excited, because in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of universal wisdom, It's only a taste. You've only just begun. It's like herbalism. It's like, yes, get excited when you've got a pocket full of herbs that you know and you know really well, right? You're like on a first and last name basis. You know how they feel in your body. You know how like they grow. You know all about them. You've been such a good little nerdy, right? Na 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 na. Good for you. And then you're like, whoa, but there are so many more that I'm going to be able to get to know and understand. And so it's like, that's wisdom too. And that's how you can understand how wisdom is probably never ending until you merge with God and then you know everything and, you know, whatever. But it's like, while we're here, is we can always be enthusiastic about wisdom, right? So my enthusiasm is a sacred fire. I'm not going to get like ever content or stagnant in wisdom, because there's maybe, quite theoretically, possibly, maybe always something more to understand. There is always the potential to manifest more wisdom regardless of where you are. So even if you're a wise old crone, you too have the potential to manifest more wisdom from where you are at. You like ascend up into the 9th dimension, even from there, you have the potential to manifest more understanding and more wisdom from that place and broaden it even more and more and more. So I feel like that's the energy coming in with wisdom. It's like, don't get overwhelmed. Like, you know how I was so overwhelmed when I sat down with this pile. It's like, no, that's a lesson, honey. You don't get overwhelmed with the pile because you don't get overwhelmed with wisdom. If you get overwhelmed with trying to get all the wisdom, understand all the wisdom, then you're missing the point of wisdom. All right, I get it. So I want to talk about ancient wisdom for just a sec, like, 100 seconds, because, the thing is, we have known since forever that we have to go within. We need to meditate. We need to tap into ancient knowledge that was ancient wisdom that was there before us, right? That maybe is us. And so we've always felt the calling as humans to understand the wisdom within. So I have 3 cards here. I know there are 3 doozies, but I'm just gonna have to pick and choose and start somewhere, right? So I have a card from, let me see what deck this is. This is the Sacred Geometry cards for the Visionary Path, I believe. It's by Francine Hart. And it is number 18. Let me make sure. I have both of her decks. Yeah, okay, so I want to just make sure I grab the right guidebook. It's the Faces of Angkor, Angkor, Angkor. I may or may not be saying that right. And there are these 2, like, I guess monks, and they are young Buddhist monks, and they are just sitting in front of these huge stone faces, right? And so anyways, whenever you see Tibetan or, Buddhist monks, don't you always think of meditation and being in that place all the time of trying or attempting or truly connecting with inner wisdom? So we've got them. I want to tell you about that, because when our dragon butterfly said live life, learn something new, I instantly thought of this card, because its message at the end says, get up from the TV, learn something old. Everyone's always like, learn something new, learn something new. Okay, but a lot of times it really benefits us, in the name of manifesting more wisdom, to learn something old. To learn an old sacred way, to go back to very basic practices like meditation. And there we gain so much wisdom. So I thought of this card so strongly. I knew that's the one that we wanted to do next. So this is all about ancient wisdom. Diamond geometries illuminate the enigmatic faces carved on the Bayon Temple mountain at Angkor, a vast city of sacred architecture in Cambodia. If you've never, look it up. It's freaking amazing, okay? At this temple site, some 37 of the 49 to 54 original face towers still stand in silent affirmation of ancient wisdom. Yeah, they're these huge stone faces. So in front of them, as we see on this card, they're young Buddhist monks. They enjoy the afternoon light. They enjoy the glow of the massive meditative portraits. A deep sense of peace and wisdom permeates this ancient sacred place. Okay, so am I going to have to make some tea for the 54th time today? This card is so fun, and it invites you to explore the realms of ancient wisdom. Long-held secret ancient wisdom traditions are becoming increasingly accessible for our exploration. The more we learn about peoples who walked the earth before us, the more fully we may understand our humanness. So you're invited to investigate any tradition to which you are attracted. There are many to enjoy, yet what you are seeking is more than a superficial glance. So this is an invitation to deeper study, or perhaps you want to take a pilgrimage there. To maybe you would like to actually go to an ancient place and see if you can pick up on the energy of the ancient wisdom that dwells there. I mean, if you could go anywhere, where would you go? This place would be awesome, although it sounds scary to go to Cambodia for whatever reason. I don't know. All right, don't be a scaredy cat, Sadie. Be a sacred cat. God, it's like I didn't even listen to my own podcast yesterday. All right, maybe just read about it. Okay, if you can't go because there's travel restrictions, maybe just read about it. Become a seeker of ancient wisdom and witness how it can change your life. So wisdom says, adventure forth with an open heart, an open mind. Be prepared to learn as much about yourself as you will about those who came before you. Enjoy this process. Yeah, get up from the TV and learn something old. Enjoy the process of gaining wisdom, ancient wisdom. I mean, I know every 5 minutes I mention it, but like A Course in Miracles, that was published, I think, in the 70s. It's 2020. That's basically ancient wisdom at this point. No, it's not that old, but it's like sometimes you go back and you're like, wait, this is 100 freaking years old and it's timeless and it's telling me exactly what I need to. You know, it's like if you're stumbling upon this podcast 100 years from now and you're like, well, how is this bitch actually talking about what I need to hear? Because this is how ancient wisdom works. It's like beyond time. It is just beyond time. So it's a big topic, but it's definitely something more that most likely you're probably ready to manifest more of in your life. And one of the ways is going back and connecting with the ancients and connecting with their practices and their perspective and their understandings. And then, just enjoy it. But through that process of enjoyment, you know, you will be able to gain so much for you right now. So we have a beautiful tree. We all love her. It's Elder. It's the Elder tree from the Herbal Healing deck. She's here right now. Her purple vibes match the purple vibe on the Universal Wisdom card and the purple in the iris. And there's even a bunch of purplish, bluish shadows on the faces of Angor. And then, yeah, we get into some deep bluey purple with our next tarot card after this. So yeah, I have 5 out. I think that's plenty to look at once. Right? To just enjoy some of these wisdom cards. But Elder, think about how much association of wisdom comes with the Elder tree, and especially ancient wisdom. You know, it's like so much magic and mystery and things that we don't quite understand, but that we could. And I think that's the whole point of wisdom. Like, you could understand more as you follow the path of wisdom, and you do understand more, and then that more turns into more and more and more and more. So Elder, literally being a very ancient tree, has many, many myths and stories and archetypes and magics. I think it's even in Harry Potter, like things like that. So this wise tree actually comes forth with a message of caution right off the bat for us as we want to manifest more wisdom. She says, hey, sweetheart, before embarking on the path of wisdom, do not allow yourself to be overtaken by the myths and the stories or the archetypes and the characters, right? So it's like, she's like, yeah, I understand that as you go down this path, you need to be the one kind of in control and the one with discernment and the one who is taking in the understanding. Like, don't, like how we said at the beginning, let's not get distracted by words of like understanding and knowledge and arguing about what wisdom could be or is. And same thing, like, don't get distracted by all the ways in which wisdom could teach and show itself to you. So anyways, this card is awesome because it is an elder tree. It's been used since ancient times, literally. It's good for all kinds of stuff. We've hung out with Elder. She was one of our herbs of the week. She can calm the nerves, increase circulation, improve digestion. She's just so flippin' fantastic. And she wants you to understand that, yeah, we are wrapping it up. This is a special time. You can have more study now, more understanding of ancient wisdom. You are ready. You have a readiness to awaken to the magic that is all around you. That's one of our Vervain affirmations. Like, we want to choose a more loving path, a more magical path, and we can, absolutely. But ultimately, Elder says it is you who will make up your own mind about what you discover. So don't idealize your teachers, even your wise and mystical ones. You need to, just really understand that you are the student and the teacher, and, you have the power. Absolutely. So Elder is one of those botanical allies that she does move in between worlds, and she can help us do the same thing and, gain a lot of wisdom in the process. So we can travel with Elder. We can go down many paths. We can study many ancient traditions. We don't have to take all of it as truth or whatever. Like, understand that sometimes a made-up story is going to teach you just as much wisdom as facts and figures, maybe even more. So it's like, you kind of have to understand that, like, you can experience a lot and return with creative genius. You can return with wisdom, But yeah, I mean, understand that, like, you know, when you get into mystery and philosophy and ancient traditions, and it's like, understand that the whole point is understanding. Haha. Understand that the whole point is more understanding and more wisdom. So I have, that's sort of funny because, like, the next card is from a tarot deck called Dreams of Gaia. And it's like, at first it seems like a crone, but then you kind of look closer. Maybe it's like just a dude with really long hair from an 80s rock band. And this person's wearing a black cloak and like a black wolf hoodie, I guess. And it's got a staff and a lantern. And there's this portal into this cave. And so it kind of reminds me of the same portal that's in the elder belly of this tree on the card beside it. It's like, ooh, and there's kind of like a portal vibe to that mandala too if you go into the center. So as you explore into things, you know, you do want to make sure that you're, yeah, like staying in control and understanding what is story, what is not. It does not even matter what is what. What matters is how you cultivate your wisdom. So this is the 10th card in this tarot deck. And I know it has a huge write-up, but we'll just take a few of the key points about this wisdom card. Yeah, see, the key words with this wisdom card, listen, it covers all of the words that we could have in our vocab war with each other. Knowledge, understanding, awareness, self-knowledge, illumination, introspection, withdrawal, insight, and common sense. So all of these we could use when we're kind of talking of or about wisdom. You know, it's like, you are here. What do you think you're doing here on planet Earth? You are here to become wise. You came here to learn. You came here to grow. You came here to experience. You came here to become wise as you move forward in your quest for universal wisdom. Now this throws a wrench in the wheel. Knowledge does not make you wise. So that's like saying, well, there must be a difference between memorizing facts and learning things and knowing all about everything. Well, you could really actually know a lot of stuff and still not be very wise. See, does that make you smile and laugh because you thought of someone specific? So, and like, likewise, you could have been like a real fuck up your whole life, and all of those mistakes you have learned wisdom from. You know, it's like you could actually be, the fuck up could actually be more wise than the studious dude who, I don't know, man, all he did was like gather information, but he didn't really get any wisdom. And meanwhile, dumb fuck over there just did all the wrong things, had all this life experience, and he is so freaking wise. He has no teeth anymore, but he's really, really wise. Okay, apply knowledge, logic, and common sense. Learn from more than just books. Seek out your elders. I mean, this card has a lot of nice guidance when it comes to wisdom. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is to break a cycle, you know, and know when to journey into a new portal. Know when to take the different road, as I'm looking at this Vervain card too in front of me. Know when to choose a more loving, more wiser path for yourself. So beautiful messages. You have unlimited potential. Wisdom is understanding. Wisdom is loving the whole. Like when you can be in love with all of life and everything and understand that you are one with it. And you're just so loving of everything then because you understand unity consciousness and you have gone within and felt that oneness. Honey, that is wisdom. That is wisdom when you can know and love your shadow, right? When you love all the roads ahead, right? All the many destinations, because you see how it's all connected. So one of the primary reasons for being is to acquire wisdom. While a person can have great knowledge, if they have no understanding, that knowledge will not make them wise. So it's like just retaining facts and information is not enough. You have to have the understanding. You have to be able to truly process what you've learned. So as we learn things together, like we may have, just as an example, like we learned all those hypnotic words. I can't remember any of them. Like ... I don't know. Like I can't really recall them, but I did bring forth a bit of understanding of the psyche, of hypnosis, of the way to talk in a way that might be helpful with helping someone else or myself, right? So, I mean, it's just so funny that like we can study our faces off or our asses, whichever one you want to get rid of, study something off, and like we still aren't really much smarter, but yet we are, because we understood it and we've processed what we've learned, and now we've got this wisdom. We're not going to probably make it on Jeopardy ever, and that's okay, because really, like, you can memorize things, but you can't learn wisdom from a book unless it's a really fucking good book. Maybe the Course in Miracles, but look at that book. It's shredding my reality for me. It's like it's doing a number on me, and I'm hoping I walk away from that book with more wisdom, with something that I understand more. But yeah, experience, usually you do learn really good through experience, and yeah, true wisdom is born of our understanding of our experiences, and that includes successes and mistakes. That includes adventures and quiet moments of meditations, gains and losses, all things. And so then what do we do with this wisdom? So when we have more wisdom, then we can judge the best course of action. We have more awareness, we have more discernment, and yes, we can apply our knowledge and logic and common sense, right? We kind of get better seeing with or without human eyes. We can have our eyes closed and be able to see things very clearly because we understand it to the point where we have acquired wisdom. So anyways, there's a lot to say in that book. This deck, the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. This is one of like the more like not impressive cards, and it's still gorgeous, but some of them are fantastical. They are so amazing. All right, so let's get a new conglomerate of cards and see what else we can kind of pick and gather from my Oracle and Tarot selection that will help us manifest more wisdom. What are we walking away from with now? Quite a few things that we've learned from ancient wisdom, elder, and just maybe we've kind of hopefully defined for ourselves what wisdom means. It's an understanding. It's an application of all the things that we have learned. So yeah, and when we do that a lot through experience, absolutely. All right, so before we go any further, I took quite a break to fry up some eggs and drink some more tea and get tired. And wait to hear back from my neighbor if she wants me to visit today or another day. I'm open to whatever. But before we go any farther, I feel like we should do this wisdom card, which is going to keep us all in check. It's number 32 from the Power Deck by Lynn V. Andrews, the cards of wisdom. The cards of wisdom. I didn't ever even see that before. I didn't even ever really recognize the tagline, the Power Deck, the cards of wisdom. Well, how friggin' timely. And you're going to love this card because we're going to get called out. In 3, 2, 1. If you are addicted to the process of becoming, there are storms on your horizon. If suddenly there is nothing left to become, you are filled with terror. Suddenly you are face to face with your own empty being. So, yeah, what's up? We're all like, learn this, read that, go there, experience that, integrate, learn wisdom. And yeah, I guess in a sense, it's like we have become addicted to the process of becoming. I know I have in a lot of ways. And so this kind of perspective keeps me in check. It keeps me in check to say like, yo, like make sure your spiritual journey didn't become an ego journey, or make sure that like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so here's the message. If you felt a little bit called out there, or a little bit like, oh my gosh, maybe I do that. I do. Yeah, if that felt a little doo-doo to you, the message is to find the sacred space, a sanctuary of pleasant stillness in your heart. So it's like you quit looking. You quit looking and just find this sacred space, this sanctuary in your heart. To know that you are truly alone is the first step on the long journey of self-discovery, or on the path to power, right? To know that you are truly alone. Okay, that's like the first step. Then the final step is to learn that you are already linked with the universe, that you are already a part of everything, and you already live in all the lodges of the universe. So this is wisdom, according to the power deck, the cards of wisdom. It's like, yeah, on our journey, it's you're alone, I'm alone, yet the final step is when we learn that we are linked to everything. We've already been a part of everything. Like, we're not alone. It's like such a screwed up, I guess, like paradox or something in a way. It's like we're alone, but yet we're all connected. And according to Lynn, this is wisdom. So the picture on the other side is like this snowy rock mountain scene, but it's floating in the middle of the cosmos. And there's like a pagoda up there, and there's a little earth, and it's very interesting. It's number 32, but the artwork should also have a message. Let me look in the book. The painting is entitled The Quiet Garden. These paintings are from Rob Schutten. And the painting is entitled The Quiet Garden. It symbolizes the birth of the universe, the earth, into a sacred space. A pagoda in the snow-covered mountains and stillness of higher consciousness. Wisdom is found in the balance between universal knowledge and the sanctuary of knowledge that is learned through our harmony and struggle on Mother Earth. Wisdom is a teaching of the spirit in the north. So all the north teachings are of spirit. And it's like, yeah, like wisdom isn't just like cut and dry, this or that. It's found in a balance. It's found with, yeah, our outside earthly experiences and also our inner sanctuary. Understanding that we're connected universally to universal wisdom. And yeah, it's really hard to put your finger on wisdom, because I think, one, it comes in so many forms, and it can really be a lot of things, but yet if you're tapping into it, you know it. So above this white north card is a wisdom soul tree from Allison Williams Yee. We hang out a lot with this deck on Thursdays. Maybe we'll hang out with this deck again tomorrow. And it's a very solid brown tree, but the sky behind it is white. And then it goes up into bluish purples, and there's a few green leaves, but it's a very bright white sky. And she just has 2 sentences about wisdom in her little pamphlet. Your life's journey has provided you with great knowledge and understanding. It is time to impart this wisdom to those who are ready to expand their own journey. Ooh, that just leads in so good to our unicorn card. All right. Yeah, we have a unicorn. So you get to know things. You get to know your wisdom. Guess what? Now you're going to share it. So it's not just like wisdom is something you have and you keep to yourself. Oh no, nope. You got to share it. You got to extend it, because unless you give it, you don't really have it. So if you would truly like to have wisdom, if you truly have it, then you give it. Okay? So that's how you know you truly have it, because you can give it and you can share it. And when you attain wisdom in any form, don't you just want to share it? Don't you just want to help people? The unicorn card says, act with wisdom and people will respect you. So it's going to take it in a little different of a route. It too is number 32. I just noticed that. Both of these wisdom cards beside each other are both number 32. And the unicorn says to say the affirmation, I act with wisdom today. There is a chief Indian. He's meditating on a blanket. There's 2 other men behind him, one sitting by the teepee, one standing with arms raised in reverence to the sky. There's horses and cows and a unicorn and maybe some buffalo way back there. So they're in the plains. It's a really beautiful sky, absolutely. And you're supposed to say, I act with wisdom today. So our first question from our dragon butterfly was, how will we cultivate wisdom? We kind of got some ideas for sure. And now we're going to affirm, I act with wisdom today. You are called on to access your innate wisdom and act with honor in an aspect of your life. So you can ask the unicorns to help you and they will support and guide you. So this is a sort of taking us into a daily perspective of wisdom. Like you want to act with wisdom. You want to learn from your experiences. And yeah, ultimately then people will respect you. All right, just got a phone call. That was my Lorraine. I'll go down in probably 30 minutes. All right, so that's good. We're moving along here. We're hanging out with trees. We're hanging out with unicorns, with some native energy, being reminded to act with wisdom. So if you want to manifest more of something, just start acting it. Truly, work with what you've got. Cultivate more of it. Let it grow. Be open to becoming more. And also, like the wisdom card from the power deck said, also don't try to become more, right? It was like, also make sure that you don't get addicted to the process of becoming, because what if all of a sudden there is nothing left to become? You're gonna freak the fuck out. So you need to not get caught up in that. You have to get to know your empty being, your sacred space, your pleasant stillness in your heart. So it's like, don't just always be looking outside yourself. Don't always just be reading a book or signing up for a class or doing this or that. Or I know, look at me. Like, I know if anyone here should not talk, it's me. Because I am the ultimate addict to the process of becoming, because I love it, but yet I also understand and am understanding even more the necessity of balance, the necessity of emptiness, as I trip over that word, the necessity of really being in that empty space, that sanctuary, that inner lodge. I get it. Absolutely. So, all right. we have two other kind of randomish cards with this group of 5 here. Kuthumi. Do you know Kuthumi? We're going to hang out with Kuthumi, who has a cloak of wisdom, and also the Wisdom Priestess by Priestess Moon Enchanted Spell Oracle. Now, Kuthumi is one of the Keepers of Light by Kyle Gray. I love him. I mean, like when I got this deck, it's like guides and deities and like, yeah, a lot of like guides in this Keepers of the Light, all kinds, from all types of spirituality, religion, galactic. I mean, Kyle Gray went into a lot of different things. There's angels, gods, goddesses, all kinds of stuff. So there was a handful of dudes mostly, and Kuthumi was one of them. I never heard of him ever. He's looking at me very peacefully, very calmly. He's fine with that, but like really, like I never heard of you. He's wearing an Ankh. He's wearing Metatron's cube. He's got a snake that's eating its tail behind him with some sacred geometry in the middle of it and the Om symbol. Okay, it's pretty interesting. And his message with the cloak of wisdom says, you already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. And so that kind of goes along with the power deck card too, the wisdom card from the power deck. Like, why do you always have to be seeking? That's the ego. That's something that the Course in Miracles says. Like, the ego is like always having you out on a quest. Seek and you do not find. The ego does not want you to find your own wisdom, really, or anything. But it'll keep you busy by looking. And so that's totally being addicted to the process of becoming. And he's saying, hold up. He's saying, hold up too. He's saying, you already know the answer you seek. So you need to maybe trust what you know. He didn't say maybe. He says trust what you know. Who is Kuthumi? He is Kuthumi. Kuthumi? I always said Kuthumi, but it says pronounced Kuthumi. Do you know him? Kuthumi? He's an ascended master who appears as a well-dressed Indian man with a golden aura. And his teachings were brought to the world by Madame Blavatsky in the 19th century. There are many different theories as to his true identity. So many believe he was a wandering man named as a rishi in India, and he just walked the path of spirit. He had very few material possessions. Now, other people believed him to have been a well-educated ski spiritual leader who was given a pseudo, like a fake name, to protect his true identity. And Kyle says, I believe that he lived a high life, but through spiritual practice was able to let go of his need for material possessions. All right, regardless of what path he walked, now he helps light workers go beyond the limits set by others and cultivate a personal connection to God. Well, whatever, right? Here's his message to us today about wisdom. He says that knowledge is learned, wisdom is remembered. So you have, and you are in a real cloak of wisdom now. Like Kuthumi or Kuthumi. It's always funny when you've been saying a name so wrong. It's hard to switch. Yeah, we've kind of all been on a wandering path, trying to find answers through study and the insights of others. But now we are uncovering the truth of our own souls. So you already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. Start to trust yourself more and more and more as you manifest more and more wisdom. Your soul is leading the way, so you are encouraged to follow your soul. The fog is clearing, the light has come and is shining on you. Your soul is saying yes, it's your cheerleader. Follow it and trust the endless wisdom within you. Go, go, go. Yes, this endless wisdom within you. Follow it, live it, breathe life into it. Breathe life into your wisdom. Live it, be it, and embody it. Just be it and let it guide the way. And yeah, what's up? Start living your life and acting with wisdom. And yes, people will respect you. That card cracks me up. I don't know why. Well, have people not been respecting you? Well, watch out, world. Now you're coming at them with some serious wisdom. And it's not even like you're coming at them. Now they're going to start being attracted to you with your wisdom. That's what the Arcturians were said exactly this morning. That if you are tapping into unity consciousness and that oneness experience, you're going to start radiating out an energy that people are going to be very much attracted to. So you might start wowing people. People might start respecting you more as you more authentically step into your cloak of wisdom. And our next character is the priestess, and she's wearing a red cloak. And it is the ivy berry that she is hanging out with today in her medicine wheel. The ivy. And her wisdom card is all about acceptance, friendship, and balance. Yeah, and balance, absolutely. So meditate more and see what happens. See what happens when you go into your still place in your heart. So yeah, sometimes this wisdom card wants you to step away from certain situations so that you can find objectivity and balance. And that's what the lesson of Ivy is all about friendships and connections and accepting people for their differences. So part of wisdom is most likely understanding there are so many paths, there are so many ways to be, there's so many processes of becoming that you could take, and you could become addicted and try to do them all. But really, sometimes it's like backing up from all of that, respecting all of it is the wisest thing that we can do. Our relationships twist and turn and become rocky, and the wisdom of Ivy whispers resilience to make lasting connections and to keep the bonds of friendship strong. Like, I just have to laugh in my own personal life, though, because it's like wisdom is saying, yeah, keep the bonds of friendship strong, make lasting connections. The Course in Miracles is saying, you want to become one in mind with everyone, and you don't want to shun anybody or send anybody away. But yet, in my real life right now, I'm finding it very hard to connect with anybody. I want everybody to fuck off. And like it's just so weird that like sometimes if I let my ego do the thinking, it's telling me the exact opposite of what my guides and teachers are telling me. And then I just have to have a laugh, because like I'm not quite where they want me to be. And then it is a little bit annoying because then I'm like, dang it. Ugh. That means I have to still have friends, right? And it's just, I'll just summarize it with the text message that my ex-husband just sent me. It was a screenshot of somebody saying, what is the one thing that became more clear as you got older? And somebody answered, why the Grinch wanted to live alone with his dog. And I get it, I absolutely get it. So, but then at the same time, I also get how, like the wisdom card of the North said, at the beginning of your long journey of self-discovery, you realize you're truly alone, right? And so then you go off on your path for power and wisdom and love and the balance of each. And then the whole final step is learning that we're already linked to everybody, that we're already a part of everything and everyone, and we're in everyone's lodges. But yet at the same time, we had to go take our little journey to understand that. So I just laugh because, like Rumi Kuthumi says, he does remind me of Rumi, just FYI. But it's like, I already know the answers that I seek, and trust what you know. And yeah, you know you'll come back to everybody, or they'll come back to you. Like you just can't shake some of these people off you. And it's like, and you don't want to either. But the ego's chiming in, yes we do. They're annoying. All right. Okay, so what else can we say about Ivy? I mean, she's beautiful, and she's here with the priestess of wisdom, to just, let us know that a lot of the wisdom is accepting people as they are, okay, and loving them and respecting them no matter what. All right, so this wisdom, Manifest More Wisdom, is turning into quite the day-long project. It's 2:47. I took a little time off to go hang out with my neighbor, to come back to 5 more really cool cards. We've got wisdom. We've got wisdom. Okay, we've got women's wisdom. We've got flames of wisdom with the crone. We've got some more ancient wisdom. And then we have 2 cute little affirmation cards from, what's her name? I'll tell you here in a minute whenever I can tap into my inner wisdom. Anyways, we have 2 affirmation cards. I listen to the wisdom of my heart, and I listen to the wisdom of my body. So this is gonna bug me, y'all. These are from, I should know this. It's Life Loves You cards, Louise Hay and Robert Holden. But yeah, Louise Hay, my bad. Everybody knows who she is, right? I hope so. Check her out, Louise Hay. She's since passed on, but she lived to be a old crone, and she did a lot of inner work, and she's got the publishing company, Hay House, Louise Hay. Hey, yeah. All right, so anyways, I listen to the wisdom of my heart. I listen to the wisdom of my body. She's famous, but I still can't remember her name. All right, so let's do hers first. She wants to talk about heart and body. She says, place your hand over your heart. Ask your heart what it wants you to know today. So there's a wisdom coming from our heart space. And she too also says that our body's trying to give us messages all the time too. Your body has a message for you. Listen to what it is telling you. Thank your body for being the perfect messenger. So I guess whenever you start to be intuitive, you can really start to use your body like sometimes you'll get a feeling or a tug on the ear, or you'll just have a gut feeling, or you'll be hyped up, or if you're not on the right path, maybe you'll be ill or just kind of nauseous, or maybe your body will feel good and then everything's flowing. So how do you know? Well, you can put your hand over your heart and ask your heart what it wants you to know. You can just quiet down and listen to your body, to the wisdom of your body and the wisdom of your heart. All right, and then you can read A Course in Miracles and have that all be blown out the window for you. But for the sake of entertainment and for this podcast today, Sadie, just go along with it. All right, so Ancient Wisdom, number 34. I was going to freak out if it was another 32. I think we're done now with the 32s. But we had 2 32s right beside each other earlier before I left to go drink tea and hang out. Now we've got a 34 and then a 39. So Wow, maybe in your 30s you can find a lot of wisdom. I mean, I certainly was learning through experience still in my 30s, and I was ready to be done with them and go into my 40s. That is faux show. Absolutely. Now, 34 is such a cool picture. This is by Michelle Modovas, and she has these black and white trees. It's kind of like reversed white birch looking, and they're cool. And it's just the midsection, you know. You don't see the treetops, you don't see the bottoms, the ground, but you know that they're trees growing close to one another. And so she wants to talk about nature. And I think most of our cards remaining are going to be talking about the wisdom of nature for the most part. And yes, the wisdom of women. But yeah, lots of nature messages. We'll wrap up our podcast like that. And then we'll end with beyond wisdom. We're going to end with a doozy. And then we'll end with a nice affirmation. And so then actually, yeah, I am going to actually end this podcast, which for me, hilariously, is going to take me all day to do it. But yeah, I just wanted to do it today. I really did. And hanging out with Lorraine, it was a little different of a hangout because another one of her people that she loves, another one of her friends was there. So it was a little different of a hangout, but it was good. And yeah, like I said, this woman gives me a lot of wisdom. She sure does. Whew. So nature is the perfect place to center yourself and ground out any excessive noise in your head. So if you want to get into that quiet, receptive place of hearing your wisdom, or just like the one card that said, like, maybe we just need to not try to become anything in this moment. Maybe that's the wisest thing we can do. Just sit in peace and with an openness. And from that openness, you know, you can pray, you can receive messages, you can breathe life, you can just be with yourself. Nature is the perfect place to center yourself and ground out any excessive noise in your head. In nature, all the secrets of the universe are held. From the fiercest energy of a raging sea and a storm to a nurturing and loving energy of 100-year-old grove of trees. So much complexity and variation in nature. It's just, this is why we can't put a finger on wisdom, because look at nature and all her glorious variations. There is quite a landscape, quite a vast selection. So the message is to get out in nature and listen to what she has to tell you. There is much to learn from nature, right? We know this here at Ho. Trees just want to be trees. They are not trying to be boulders. Deer are just deer. They accept that. Wolves are wolves. They know no other way. They do not try to get an extreme makeover to become a bear. So the owl does not try to become a fox. And it is what it is. And I think, yeah, what a beautiful message for us too. Like, just be who you are. Just be who you are. Now, so this is very different from the human experience, this energy vibration of nature. Because in nature, it is pure love, non-judgment, and acceptance. So when we go out in nature and let it tune us and clear us and, you know, influence us, that's the right word. Yeah, get out in nature and let nature influence you for you to be who you are. That pure love. So when we tap into the ancient wisdom of the natural world, you find peace within yourselves. You get to know thyself. So yeah, this card is asking you to come to peace with who you are and what you have to offer, any situations in your life. And yeah, just maybe stop trying to be wise and just be. Just be who you are. That's wisdom enough. Where you are is good enough. Where you are is where you are. And I think a lot of times that is just the perfect, most knowledgeable thing to do, is just allow yourself to be. Ooh. So let's see if women's wisdom and the wisdom of the crone acknowledge any of that, or agree or disagree. I don't even see I'm supposed to have a guidebook for the Aboriginal card that I have in front of me. I don't even see it. But you know what? You should see my desk right now. It's insane. Like, it looks like I got up this morning and read a chapter and started a podcast and then left and had 100 cups of tea. Yep, the book is still in the box. And it's women's wisdom. So all my ladies, all my single ladies, all my married ladies who wish they weren't married ladies, all my crone ladies, all my ladies, women's wisdom. So this is the Aboriginal Dreamtime Oracle by Mel Brown, and it's a little different. Sometimes it has a story that seems to not have anything to do with what the card says. Women's wisdom. I'm going to tell you a story now, as if I were the old crone that we will be venturing into next, who says, I am open to share. I am open to all of life's wisdom and share it with gratitude. So this women's wisdom from the Aboriginal Dreamtime Oracle is going to be about that, actually. I remember now. How we as women, and men too, don't feel excluded. We have like an honorary duty to pass on our wisdom. That is how information, knowledge, wisdom, that's how herbalism has survived. Right? We pass on what we know. We share our wisdom. So the grandmother talks softly to her granddaughter as she gently holds her in a loving embrace. The old woman sees the special qualities in her granddaughter, the qualities that are needed for her to pass down the knowledge and wisdom which was passed down by her grandmother. So she shares her Dreamtime stories with her granddaughter, helping her to understand the lore that is embedded in the stories. So one way that wisdom has been perpetuated or passed on is through stories. And our tree, our ancient wisdom elder tree, reminded us at the beginning, if you remember, 1400 years ago when I started this podcast, that don't get caught up in the story or the archetype or the hero or whatever. Like, get the message. Okay, a lot of this wisdom is delivered in stories. Make sure that, you take what is you're supposed to get caught up on. As the years pass by, the older woman imparts her herbal knowledge to her granddaughter, and she becomes confident in her abilities to heal the mob when they are sick. She learns to develop her intuition, which increases the depth of her wisdom, and in time will become the wise woman of the mob. So eventually, the old woman, the grandmother, says her final goodbyes to this world, and she passes to her next life, knowing that the well-being of the mob will be in the safe hands of the new wise woman, her beloved granddaughter. So it's like, what a fantastic message. Like, one, for the young listeners, go find your grandma. Maybe not your biological grandma, but the grandma that's going to teach you something. Like, I love my grandma, but she didn't teach me anything. So I have to go down the road and hang out with an adopted grandma. It's okay. It's okay to do that. It's okay to find your crone wherever you need to find her. But whenever there's someone who can pass on information to you, especially herbal information, what's up? A lot of us had to go out looking for that knowledge and information ourselves. But wouldn't it be nice if it was just part of our wisdom that we passed on naturally, right? Just our inheritance that we received. So anyways, one, if you're young, go get your herbal crone. Okay, go get your wise crone. If you are a crone and you've been stingy with your information, maybe be open to sharing it. And maybe maybe it's not your fault, because maybe there just hasn't been anybody who wanted to learn or wanted to listen or didn't have the qualities, like all these young dumb people. Where is the one who's going to absorb this wisdom, right? So I'm just saying it hasn't really been your fault, but now you need to make intentions to be open to sharing your wisdom. Everyone, be open to sharing your wisdom. And if you don't have anybody, old crone, but yet you are just bursting full of wisdom to share, then while you still have eyes to see and a hand to hold a pen, please get writing, get documenting, get publishing, share your wisdom with gratitude. And I had to, get over a lot of stuff, like deciding that, okay, I'm going to share my journey. I'm going to share what I know in a podcast form. Well, then, I was doing it, but I was not doing it with gratitude, because, I felt not appreciated. Well, guess what? Nothing has really changed. I'm still not appreciated for the most part, but I changed my perspective about it, and now I'm sharing more with gratitude. Because I have a bigger picture, I'm more wise. I understand that, actually, it might be your granddaughters that I'm talking to right now. And you're like, what? I don't even have kids. I know. I'm just a little ahead of my time, right? A lot of people are. So it's if that might be you too, think about sharing your wisdom in a way that it will be for the next generation. So it's probably time for a lot of you to write books. Even though just at my little lunch visit, the guy was like, you should write a book. And I was like, ha ha ha, write a book. And that's all I said. And I was like, dismiss. Dismiss. I shouldn't have to write a book. I've been talking for thousands upon thousands of hours. Just get me transcribed, for the love of God. No, I would love to write a book, but I also just feel like it's all been regurgitated enough, and I don't know, what would I even say? All right, so sometimes this is the Dreamtime message. I don't know if it really applies or not, but I'll read it. Sometimes it's easy to think that everyone else seems to be the expert in your life. It gets confusing, as you feel obligated to listen to everybody. So yeah, on some occasions, there are people whom you should trust, and there is someone who is advising you at the moment that could be worth listening to. They are knowledgeable. I wonder if it's me. They are knowledgeable regarding this subject and also have your best interest at heart. So yeah, I would say that message is good, but also then maybe don't listen to people. You need to always be the judge on that. You can listen to other people's wisdom, but you don't need to adopt it 100% as your own. Even the wisdom that's passed down generationally, at some point you have to still run it through your heart filter and listen to the wisdom of your heart and say, is this right? Is this still right for me, for the times, for our community? If it's good, it probably still is, but sometimes things get let go of because they just aren't appropriate anymore, or it's just not, it just don't feel right yet, So anyways, yes, listen, but don't listen. There we go. Good way to end it. Except we're not done yet. We have the crone. Now she is sitting over this awesome fire, kind of in a big white cauldron that has runes carved on the side, and it almost looks like black coals or black onks, and just just actually a small flame coming up, more of almost a meditative fire. And she's sort of leaning on her cane, walking stick, and her face is, yes, old and haggard and beautiful. Let me just tell you, she is beautiful, and I love her white hair. And she's letting it grow. I love that. And it's kind of scraggly, but it matches the flames, and it matches the ghost owls flying behind her, flying under the full moon. It's very magical, meditative, full of wisdom. You can feel it coming off of her, just her energy, her aura. I am open to all of life's wisdom and share it with gratitude. So she is a wise woman. And she's come into our lives today to remind us that there is still much to be learned. There's still much to be learned. And we had already figured that out, because we're going to manifest more wisdom, then more wisdom, then more. And it's really never, ever, 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 ever done. Ever. She asks you to turn to the ancient ones for wisdom. The trees, the earth, the grandparents, and those who have spent lifetimes absorbing knowledge on the earth plane. So these experiences can give you greater insight into your life. If you have been seeing or hearing owls, it may be a sign from spirit that gaining or sharing wisdom will help you in your current phase of life. So watch out for the owls. I've always been drawn to owl things. Absolutely. So the wise woman also reminds you that not all experiences in life are easy. Some lessons will leave behind scars on your physical body, but they are simply a reminder of valuable lessons learned. Yes, all my mamas, we know this. Just look at where our abdomens used to be. I don't know what that wreckage is now, but yeah, we know what a scar is. Thank you. As I can hear my beautiful children all around me and above me. So wisdom asks us today to be grateful for all of life experiences and the wisdom that we gain from them, so that, one day we can pass it on to others. So, if you are nearing your senior years or in your senior years, I love you. Please share your wisdom and experiences with the younger generations. Your viewpoint is valid. Your wisdom is golden, truly. And it's your act of power and of love and responsibility. Sorry to go mother on you, but it is your responsibility to share it. So get it out of you and get it published. Or at least connect with individuals of a younger generation, someone who you know will pass it on. And it'll help them on their life's journey, so it's good karma points. One last thing from the crone. Always remember to show great patience when sharing knowledge with others. Yeah, that in itself is something that is a gift of wisdom. I feel like when you manifest more wisdom, it seems like patience comes along with it. I mean, when you truly tap in to genuine wisdom, it's just you have this patience. You kind of understand. You just kind of understand that you're not in a hurry. You're just not. You've just been hanging out with the trees and the owls. And you're just going at a different pace. Absolutely. Okay, well, thanks for making it to the end here. Talking to myself. Thanks for hanging in there. I knew I grabbed too many cards, but like this sacred geometry deck, there just was some that I knew that wisdom was the theme in the card, and I was just like, I was like, well, you know, someday when I'm an old lady and listening back to my podcast because I'm too tired to keep my eyes open, I might enjoy hearing about these cards. And then the galactic one, I was like, okay, that one's friggin' deep. We have to do that one, right? And then, of course, this affirmation, too. I know I said that we were going to end with it, so I will try to stick with that. We'll end with the affirmation. All right, so there's there's 5 of these Francine heart cards. Now, her decks are fantastic. You can download them as an app on your phone, but it's like, oh, come on, just get the deck. Because the book that comes with them, it's so enjoyable. I've read both guidebooks just as books. And of course, like, I wanted to memorize everything about them. Like, oh yes, like, please learn all of these sacred geometry and platonic shapes and all this. Well, it goes in one ear, out the other sometimes. But I walked away with the wisdom, with the messages, with the feeling of it. So that is good. So let me think here. 30. Let's start with this one. It's called The Lesson, and it's number 37. And I am in the wrong guidebook. Okay. It's number 37, and it's all about universal wisdom. And a lot of her cards are colorful, but this one's just black. It's like black and white, but it's black and it's on the yellow gold. So it's just drawn in ink. And it has this huge flower of life, and then this angel in front of it, like holding his hands up, like in around the circle of it. And it's about universal wisdom. And the flower of life contains an infinite library of information and connects us to universal truths beyond all present knowing. So it's like we learn lessons on lessons. And life can be a joy-filled, magical school if you decide to utilize the resources. So there is an angelic figure here holding the expanded flower of life up for us and asking you to join in touching universal wisdom. So there's some big questions here. If you truly are wanting to manifest more wisdom, a little reflection time might be good. What connects your inquiry to the lessons you are learning at this moment in your life? What has happened recently that needs a clarification or a larger perspective? So we can use this card as a gateway, a doorway, or a stargate. And the flower of life is something that you can meditate upon. It's one of those sacred geometric figures that, like, it's doing it already. As you stare at it, the circles start to move. So if you can download a picture or just find a picture of the flower of life, especially like one in black and white, like where you can really see. Yeah, the circles are popping all over the place like bubbles. It starts to move when you look at it. I'm not joking you. You'll have to look at it. But so you can meditate in this sacred geometry and allow it to move all over your vision and just let it go, whatever. And allow yourself to enter a state of heightened awareness and move to a place where all your senses bring in information and make it available to you. Absorb the information, absorb the energy, absorb the light from this encounter and use it to support your desire for joy and growth and freedom. Yes, you can do this. The universe supports your quest. So, yeah, let's take the message to meditate, to remove ourselves from the constant quest of becoming, right? Like, And what a funny message too for our last Manifest More one. Like, hey, you don't need to manifest more of anything deliberately. Like, it is just happening. All you need to do now is absorb. You don't need to find any more lessons. Except do the A Course in Miracle ones with me in 2021. But as far as life, truly, maybe you don't even need those. Like, maybe what you need to do is just absorb the lessons that you have already experienced and allow yourself to open to the wisdom. And then we can let our natural healing take place. All right, so I think that's the last card in that guidebook. I think the rest are in her other guidebook, her second deck. She got a little bit more artsy with her second deck, a little bit more. It's more for the visionary path. The sacred geometry one has like more basic shapes. I mean, she got artsy in that too. I don't want to say she's not, but the second deck has a little different of a feel, but it's still everything is so good. And I want to start with this one that doesn't actually say wisdom on the card, but it's all about seeking wisdom, and it's self-awareness, and it's called Piercing the Veil. And there's a dude without a shirt on and his hands are out, and he's meditating, but he's standing up, and he's got this violet flame all around him and all this sacred geometry emanating. And it's number 28, which is always a pivotal age, I feel like. And it says there are passages and veils through which shamans and visionaries transcend personal limitations and pierce through outmoded thought forms. So it's kind of like we don't even actually know what we could be tapping into. To keep it connected here with manifesting more wisdom. Like, we're just trying to like learn from our life experiences and nature and Crohn's. But it's like, whoa, let's throw in a shaman card. Let's throw in maybe a state of mind that we didn't really understand or know was even possible. And it's an idea that like, whoa, meditating and piercing through a veil of illusion, we could gain more self-awareness, more access to insight, and wisdom beyond the conventional. So we're going to end our Manifest More Wisdom with this idea of beyond what we can even think. Now it's going to be interesting to put all that into words because we can't, because we haven't thought about it yet, because it's beyond. It is wisdom beyond the conventional. So that's why we have to have a willingness and have an openness for energy to come into our life, for greater understanding. If you get an opportunity to travel like a shaman or to do something different like that, or if you kind of figure it out for yourself, how to gaze past the veils of ego and delusion, like maybe meditating into a flame, maybe meditating into the flower of life. This is probably why a lot of people take ayahuasca, right? They're like ready to go into someplace different. And that's why a lot of people don't take it, right? So let it be your intention with whatever you decide to do to move beyond these limitations and into your own personal truth. Courageously step forward and pursue the way of wisdom. So this is something that a lot of us are ready to do, the way of wisdom. And what are we going to do when we tap in to that energy? I vote number 58, the Gaia grid. You know, it's like sharing this energy now with the earth and tapping into the earth's wisdom. There's a lot of earth wisdom that we can, as we transcend and kind of go past what we think right? We connect with nature, we connect with the trees, we connect with the owl. We actually can connect with Gaia herself. So, earth wisdom. We have beyond wisdom. We have infinite wisdom. We have earth wisdom with the Gaia grid. So this card depicts there's like a woman holding the earth mother squatting down, holding her earth, and there's a grid over the earth symbolizing like ley lines, or the Gaia grid or the earth grid, unified field theory. That's what this picture's kind of talking about. But anyways, you're asked to view the way energy moves and to observe the choices in your life that strengthen or diminish your energy. So as you choose a home on this planet, right, and you unite with earth wisdom, you will activate your place on the planetary grid and realize resonance with the spirit of place. So it's kind of an interesting card. I mean, and I didn't really know what we would get out of it. But there is this thing called earth wisdom. What brings you to your fullest potential, and where does that happen? There are places where you will feel comfortable, and those that may seem to sap your power. So this is saying, understand the wisdom that you have in your life of just knowing how to connect your energy into the earth. And all these wisdom cards do have this radiating out energy. And the old crone that we just hung out with, she was beaming with energy. So you do kind of start to understand in your expanded wisdom how you are connected to everything. And you will know what to learn and experience when it's right. You'll know what you need to know when you need to know it. And yeah, we do that a lot when we connect in with nature. So I want to go down. Below the earth is whales. There's part of wisdom that we hardly have tapped into, understanding the wisdom keepers of the planet, like the purpose of the whales. Whales are denizens of the deep, caretakers of oceanic wisdom, and record keepers for the planet Earth. They communicate by means of song, stories, and telepathy. They remember how to travel with grace of movement over thousands of miles. And within these whales, and there's also mermaids and dolphins and porpoises in the picture, there is figure eights, which suggests that their wisdom is greater than time and depth. It is infinite wisdom. So pulling this card could find you seeking a measure of wisdom to help you comprehend a situation. Something does not make sense, and you're having difficulty understanding why events are occurring as they are. All right, I'll just do it. Hashtag 2020. So these whales are saying, quiet your thoughts. Allow your consciousness to float in this blue ocean, this fluidness, and tune into the wisdom the humpback whale, mother and her calf embody. Yeah, I have always loved whales, so this is fun for me. I remember Bashar or somebody talking about how whales are like a collective consciousness. It's just not one identity in each whale. It's like a group. It's a group effort in each whale or something like that. And that really, I don't know, got my curiosity thinking wow, there is so much more to know than what I even think I know. So you can trace your finger in infinity symbols on your palm or your forehead to just make intentions to connect with infinite wisdom. So what a beautiful intention. I want to connect more with infinite wisdom. Ask the infinite source to offer you the wisdom you require to bring greater understanding to your thoughts. So it's like, yeah, we want to understand more. We want new ideas, but we also just want a broader, greater perspective. It will help on all aspects of our life. It will help us comprehend situations. I think it will help us enjoy our life more when we manifest more wisdom. And so let's just go big. Let's just go infinite. Let's just, go real big so we can have good insight, good judgment, feel reassured, know that our decisions will be sound, and get into a place where we celebrate our own wisdom. So even if we're not feeling so wise right now or today, let's just relax into, this will pass. And if we make intentions to connect with infinite wisdom and the whales, heck yeah, let's do it. We will be pleasantly surprised. All right, so our last card is number 61, and I have to switch guidebooks. Wrong guidebook. I haven't memorized what deck goes with what. So let me switch over here because we're going to have another little owl friend, a wise friend who wants to talk about nature's wisdom. And ancient trees are also wisdom keepers. So it's like, think about these huge whales, these huge trees. They are wisdom keepers. The trees hold within their bark and branch vast libraries of knowledge, history, and earth mysteries. They are fully willing to make these accessible to anyone who makes an effort to tune into their language. So we need more people meditating with trees, putting their hands on the trees, not just giddy for a selfie, hashtag tree hug, or like legit, like go to that tree every day and see if you can communicate with it. For real. Do it. So when you approach a master teacher or a revered elder, it is customary to offer prayers or pay tribute, bring a gift, some tobacco, a Patreon pledge, whatever. The old ones love such acknowledgement, and they respond to your recognition of their wisdom by expanding their energy fields and offering shelter. As you sit in this presence, open your inner knowing to a place of receptivity. Relax. Breathe in a slow, rhythmic manner and listen. Messages may come in a whisper or an exclamation. You may receive words, or likely some simple knowing will occur. So trees are renowned poets and givers of riddles, so don't expect exact answers. Cultivate a relationship with a tree near your home, okay? One that you can easily visit often is best. And let your experience with this wise friend guide you in learning the language of trees. Once you learn this connection, you may find trees talking to you everywhere you go. So we want to really not limit wisdom. We don't want to say, well, I will only get wisdom from this book, right? Or I will only do this or that. Like, you don't even know what's available to you. I don't even know what's available to me. We don't know the plan, right? We don't know everything. But we can have a willingness and openness to keep having experiences, to keep integrating our experiences, and to keep growing and cultivating our wisdom. And then what's beyond that? Beyond wisdom. This is the first card in the Galactic Heritage deck by Lissa Royal Holt, and it's from the Founders. It's a parallel card. It's number 1, Beyond Wisdom. We can't even hardly grasp, I don't think. So hold on to your socks. We'll end in a galactic-ish kind of way. And then somehow we got a podcast done manifesting more wisdom, I hope. But yet, you know, it's just so funny. I keep going back to that card that kind of told us we don't really need to try. We don't need to get addicted to becoming more. Sometimes we just need to be. Yeah. So let's see what Beyond Wisdom says. And we'll see if it gives us something new that we didn't think about. All right. So the founders. The founders represent the abiding awareness, the one consciousness. And that is my daughter that is creaking the floor above our heads this whole time, just so you know. This is why I get up so early. But hey, it's 3:42. Take it or leave it. One consciousness that spans time and space. So this one consciousness is aware of its simultaneous existence both as the whole and its, quote, separate parts. It created an illusion of fragmentation so that we could have individual lifetimes. But its wholeness still abides and is ultimately the consciousness that sees through the eyes of every living soul. So this is the one consciousness. This is your true self. You think you are separate. You think, I think I am separate. Everyone thinks they're separate. The joke is, we are all one consciousness. Having the illusion of fragmentation so we can have our individual lives and have our individual perspectives, but ultimately we are still whole. We are still one. Ultimately, it's this wholeness that can see through the eyes of every living soul. This is your true self. Some call it God. Because this card points to your true nature, it is the most powerful card of this deck. It cuts through illusion and moves beyond wisdom. It is you. Remember. Yeah. Remember who you really, really, really are. And it's like, did you ever look in someone's eyes and it's like you see yourself? But it's like, that's God seeing God. You know, it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so it's like, whenever hippy dippies go around saying we are one, yeah, bitch, we really actually are. And the big joke, I think, is, yeah, we actually are one. And so it's almost silly to have people that annoy us or that are enemies, or it's like, okay, but like that's just another you. So here's a little commentary in this guidebook from the Galactic Heritage cards. This deck's awesome. It has 108 cards. Because humans appear to exist in a linear, separate reality, we cannot have a card that truly embodies the energy of the complete wholeness and have the human mind be able to perceive this truth. If it were to be represented in this deck, it would have to be card number 0. So this card, number 1, holds the energy of our initial fragmentation from the source. This first fragmentation, looking at it from a linear perspective, created many subgroups of wise beings manifesting as group consciousness systems who act as the architects of our journey through polarity and back into wholeness. They maintain the memory of being whole and separate at the same time and guide us through this journey. They are a manifestation of the great hologram of creation that contains all things and potentials. So this is why the theme is beyond wisdom. What they offer us has little to do with intellectual knowledge or even what is called wisdom. So that's why it's beyond wisdom. They represent us in our integrated state and help us maintain the memory of our true state of existence as one being throughout all creation, manifesting as both separate and unified simultaneously. Yeah, did your brains just explode? Yeah, so beyond wisdom, like we could totally just take this past infinite wisdom. It's like we were like, oh yeah, nature wisdom, earth wisdom, ancient wisdom, infinite wisdom, bam, beyond wisdom. Beyond wisdom. So this brings in the idea of group consciousnesses with the whales and with the founders, and understanding that that actually is our true nature, oneness, our true nature. So the suggestion is for our everyday lives is to not get distracted by the chaos or the intensity of physical existence. So don't get too caught up in this whirlpool, because it's not who you truly are. So let yourself feel the connection with the source in a way that goes beyond your intellect. And as this connection grows stronger within you, it can serve as a guiding force in your life. Trust that connection. Trust the invitation to return to source, to God, to all that is, for your knowingness, for your true wisdom. And affirm with me, God has a plan for me. I live here now, knowing beauty is to come. I don't force things to happen faster than the universe has decided for me. I learn from my experiences, take small steps in faith, and succeed thanks to all my efforts. Yeah, I tap into beyond wisdom. Yeah, I tap into God. That's pretty much what that's saying. All right, well, I'll be honest. I don't know how this is going to go together, since I did it like in chunks here and chunks there, a little wisdom there. Have we manifested more wisdom? I would have to say yes. Even if today was a little all over the damn place. It was for me, but who knows? Once I mush it all together, maybe it'll make sense. We definitely have been hanging out for like 44 weeks, manifesting more good stuff every week. And I know we have had to have gotten an expansion of our wisdom, and we didn't absorb it all, but we absorbed enough, and we'll cultivate it and we'll keep on growing. And then eventually, I guess we're going to be going into beyond wisdom, right? That's inevitable. That's ultimately where we're all going, right? Especially if we're all one. So go kicking or screaming, but yeah, we all go back to oneness. All right, so anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, but also just hanging out with me all year, and yeah, hanging out with me with this journey of manifesting more good stuff. I'm happy, I'm excited, and I am hopeful that today we manifested more wisdom.